Okay, welcome. My name is Ian Rustige. I'm CEO of Energised Engagement. I'm delighted to be with Tim Haynes, who is Contour Club Manager. And we're just going to share some reflections from our first two events in London and Basel. So, Tim, what did you take away from our first two Contour events?
Yeah, Ian, it was a terrific conversation, right, with a really great group of leaders that came together in both Switzerland and London. And we had a really great dialogue around the leadership implications of AI-enabled organizations. And I think what struck me is that there's very little conversation going on right now about those leadership and people implications. There's a lot about the technology and the governance and these other things. But fundamentally, what does this mean for leaders who will be leading organizations where work is getting done differently in the future? And I loved what came up in the group with concepts around things like, how do we reimagine the way that work gets done and how we as leaders need to reimagine our leadership practice, but also recognizing that some of the skills and capabilities that are probably going to be essential in that AI-enabled world maybe aren't new. These are things like agility, managing in ambiguity, treating organizations less mechanistically and more as complex responsive systems. Those maybe aren't new concepts, but AI is making that now the imperative for leadership. So that really excited me in the conversation. How about you?
Yeah, Tim, well, first, thank you. I love this word kind of reimagining, which was kind of eminent in the conversation in London. So I think for me, two key reflections were, number one, if you get a great bunch of leaders with masses of experience in a room, magic happens in the conversation. And that was what we certainly felt in both Basel and London. And that was great. Number two is that although we started with AI as a technology challenge, what transpired actually is it's more of a leadership and organizational challenge. So similar to your reflections, I think things which stood out for me, which are going to be massively important moving forward for leaders, it is things like building trust, and human connection becomes even more important as we move into this next chapter where AI is inevitably going to be embedded even more in organizations we work in. So fantastic insights. I'm really looking forward to the next sessions we have running in London, Basel, and then bringing the US online too. So yeah, delighted with how the conversations went, and also start to see the human connection between us as a group start to form.
Absolutely. I think those further events in the fall and in autumn were going to be super opportunity to build on some of the insights we've already got, but really start deepening it and having those real conversations together, right? Which is the spirit of Contour. It's not about polished PowerPoints and presentations. It's about real dialogue, open and honest conversations together. And that's absolutely what we achieved with these first ones.
Brilliant. Well, Tim, thanks a lot for your reflections. Hope this is useful for the first Contour event, and we look forward to the next steps with you.